Friends, how are you doing? What a day in the market. What a good day to end the week here. Man, so loads to talk about. Stocks, a lot of stocks rebounded today. AI stocks are starting to show some support here again. We're starting to see life in a lot of our AI stocks that we lost support in. And things are slowly building back here. Now, how long that's going to last, I don't know. I don't know because here's the situation, what's happening here today. And Trump talked about this more today. So, bullet point on the blackboard right here, what we're looking at. And why I put on the thumbnail, SoFi Palantir don't buy yet is because of one thing. Now, obviously, people are buying back in. The market's running. This is probably one of the best days we've had in the market here. At least ending out the week here. S&P starting to come back here a little bit. We're seeing a little more pull up. But what we're seeing though, and what we're believing is that April 2nd we have this next huge phase of tariffs, retaliation of tariffs, what other countries may say. Inflation could go up from this. Consumers may take the hit, in which will be not good for the economy, and which will not be good for the market. Now, with that, Trump came out today and said, hey, we're going to be flexible on these tariffs. So I don't know. We don't know what that means. They obviously, probably what that means is that they're saying if the tariffs come in a little too hard, where they're pushing a little too much on consumers, maybe they'll back off a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think Trump so much cares about the market right now in the short term. I think more than not, he cares about obviously keeping the population happy with inflation. Inflation is his number one thing that he always talks about, he wants to go after. And I'm not trying to even make a political statement whatsoever. I'm just obviously saying what his general consensus is with that. So obviously, they don't want to drive up inflation. That would not, people would be pissed 100%. So it's going to be very interesting. And that's why I said, hey, I personally know people that aren't buying stuff right now, and there's things that the only thing that I'm buying really right now, and I think I said this last night, it's just ETFs. There's just ETFs that I'm putting money into weekly, where I just have some capital comes in, I put it over, take a lump sum, put it in ETFs. But I also am making piggy bank right now. I'm making a piggy bank to see if we can see what April's going to bring here in the market, because if we do see the market fall apart here and lose support, at least all the support we've gained back at that point, there probably will be some things that I will buy in. I've talked about Rocket Lab, maybe Tesla, AMD, even Nvidia, see how low that goes. There's things that for the long term, I will start to make heavier positions in with new accounts. So with that, going into Palantir here, here's the thing that has shifted here with Palantir. So obviously, like I said, AI stocks are starting to roll up again here. They're starting to get some movement, some life, some blood. Investors are getting a little more comfortable with what's going on in the market. It seems like some things are wrapping up in the world. We're still talks of the Putin, us, Ukraine, all that kind of stuff, what's going on there. But the inflation, the main thing the market does not like right now is this tariff situation and inflation. That is the number one killer in the market. But with that too, the situation is that we're seeing our AI stocks come up. And so when you look up Palantir right now, is that you're seeing a lot of articles that are like this, finally time to load up, says top investor about Palantir stock. One Wall Street analyst thinks Palantir stock is going to 60. Possibly. That would be nice, because I would buy more even at 60. I'd make a whole new position in it. Here's why Palantir stock is a buy despite the 26% fall in a month. So, and when we say despite that 26 fall, I look at that and I go, that's for someone who doesn't really follow the market too much. They don't follow stocks too much. They're not obsessed, maybe like us in the market, because obviously we look at that and we go, well, we know why Palantir fell 26%. Everything fell at least that much. With that, going into Palantir stock today, the stock is back up in the $90 position. So this is very This is good. Obviously, this is good. If you're holding Palantir stock, anything under 90, maybe you're bag holding at 100, maybe past 100, who knows? But and I would be careful about getting too emotional and taking a loss on Palantir. There's still some turnaround that could happen here in the market. But obviously the main thing right now everyone's wanting to know, how soon will Palantir go back to this $100 position? I think really, when I look at the market, I go the next 2 weeks may just be like parents aren't home. We're going to do what we want in the market. We're going to, we're just going to push the market. We're going to have more good days than not. The Feds shouldn't say too many more terrible things in this time frame. It's really the beginning of April what these tariffs are going to mean. What is this going to do to the market? So in the next 2 weeks, we could see somewhat of the market kind of pan out a little bit here and start to slowly build back some growth. Now, I don't think we're going to get everything back that we lost here back just a few months ago, 2 months ago. Not even 2 months ago, when we were sitting at this $100 and, almost $30 position with Palantir. Now, do I believe Palantir will go back to $100? Absolutely. In the long term, and when I say long term, I mean maybe like the summer. Palantir could easily be back over 100, 110. Here's what we know with Palantir is that quarterlies will be coming out here along with a slew of other companies in May. At the end of April, May, that's when everything's projected at this point. That's May 5th to be exact. I just looked it up for Palantir releasing their next quarterly. So with that, this is going to be huge because that's going to be the Q1 of Palantir's, Q1 of this year. So that's going to be really, really big for Palantir. And, Palantir is in this position right now where it can really just take all the bears, everyone that doubts it, and really just push them, cream them even more into the dirt right now, because we have a situation of where Palantir is potentially could hit $1 billion quarterly or almost hit $1 billion quarterly. They're right in that sweet spot right now where they're so close to hitting the quarterly. So the last quarterly was $827 million, $827.52 million. With that, we could see them, it's not even $200 million more dollars that they could get to where they could achieve this $1 billion, earnings. Could it happen? Of course it could happen. Q3 of 2024 was $725.52 million. You see the jump in we're talking about here? You can go look at what they make each quarterly. That's why Palantir stock is jumping so aggressively right now. Because if they keep doing this 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 percentile jump on each quarterly, that's why the stock is moving so aggressively and you're paying such a wow number for the stock right now. Look at Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab has, more money they're making at the moment because they've had some big contracts, but Palantir is still not even in this $1 billion quarterly zone yet. It might be in May, might be. I think there's a lot of people that'll take that bet that they're going to hit it. So that's where the FOMO is being priced into Palantir 100%, and that's okay. That's okay. There's a reason why we've paid such a high price with Tesla for the last 7-8 years, because it's FOMO's taken over. It's the expectation. Don't want to miss out. They may do this, that, and they've proven that in the past, and now they're going through a whole transition with their stock. So with that, the situation with Palantir is, I really wouldn't get in a place where I would say like, hey, I'm gonna not. I'm not going to believe that Palantir is going further down to like a $50 to $40 zone. That is more of a dangerous place to believe right now with Palantir if you haven't already made a position in Palantir. I think the long-term answer with Palantir, short term, what do we want to call short term? I mean, obviously, I think short term, into May with these new quarterlies, we could obviously, and I think we will obviously see towards the end of April, no matter where the market's at that point, unless we're in full-blown like recession, atomic bomb has hit the market, Palantir more than likely will be over $100 at that point. If we're already hitting this $90 position, I wouldn't be shocked to see Palantir moving back up into a $100 position, obviously. But it is the question of how aggressive are these quarterlies going to be? Are they going to be in the $1 billion zone, or are they just going to miss it? So this could really push Palantir into the summer prices of over $100. We know that people are more than willing to pay $100, $110, $115, $120, $125, almost $130 for Palantir. So why wouldn't they buy Palantir at $90, $100, $105? They're going to do it. There's people that are bag holding Palantir at this price right now. So friends, when Q1 comes out here with Palantir, I think this is going to be the one that's really just going to seal the deal with Palantir, either going to $100, going well past $100 if they just blow these quarterlies out of the water, and then the new low for Palantir could be around this 90 to 100 and some change bottom with Palantir. Absolutely. Why not? Why not? Look at Palantir, even with the devastation that's come in the market here the last 30 days. Palantir has not really sold under $80. It's been like twice that it went to 79 and then it shot right back up into $80 and some change. So there is a heavy wall there built at $80. It's going to take a lot more devastation to happen in the market in Palantir for Palantir to sell off. And, even Palantir being, in a situation of where, let's just say Palantir, it just hits 15% over of what it's expected. That would still be a lot of money, and that would still put Palantir in this range of like, they're still almost about to hit $1 billion. Okay. So either way, it should be a good situation for Palantir here, to where people, no matter what, they're going to buy it, they're going to hold it, and they're still going to believe the hype train that is around Palantir, because Palantir is still fundamentally getting a lot of deals, moving aggressively. They're making a ton of money right now for a company that has, within the last 2 years, completely changed gears in building such an infrastructure of what they do as a company. I mean, these government contracts that Palantir finds itself in, and it has found itself in the past 2-3 years here, they have done such a wonderful thing with Palantir. Absolutely. They have built the company. And Alex Karp talks about this, and this is why you see Alex Karp shaking hands with the Trump administration so aggressively right now, because he knows where his money's coming from. He knows where his bread and butter is right now with a lot of what has happened with Palantir, because Palantir was getting these government contracts, and Alex Karp said this. He said, like, hey, we haven't sent out a sales force. All of our business has essentially come to us, and they've come to them because Palantir was getting these government contracts, and they just kept executing them. They kept doing great on them. They kept getting bigger contracts, more contracts with the government, and they've been getting all these other big contracts with other companies that are using their software. So I think we're just in the beginning of what is going to happen here with Palantir. I think it's such a shame when people go like, Palantir is not going to do much more. I think that's a real dangerous place to be mentally with Palantir. I really do believe that. And talking about Big Bear, I don't want to talk about Big Bear too long, because I've been talking about Big Bear so much. So I know someone's going to comment. I'm going to go ahead and just say, people are comparing Big Bear and Palantir, like at, Big Bear being the baby brother to Palantir. I get what people are saying, and there are similarities with Palantir, 2-3 years ago with what's going on with Big Bear right now. I get it. I see it 100%. Big Bear, though, is in a situation of where there's a little more negative news right now with Big Bear than there was with Palantir 2-3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, Palantir was still on a better road with where they were going. We could see more of a foundation being built and where they were going into quarterly wise. They were making, even 2-3 years ago, Palantir was doing very well when it came to quarterlies. But Big Bear is in this situation where Big Bear had a better year in 2024. Big Bear, the last 3-4 months here have been very good for it. New CEO, been getting government contracts, been doing well. 2 weeks ago, had some bad news. Was it this week or last week? Anyway, had some bad news come out there about, 2023, 2022, 2023, and 2024, where there was some accounting issues, a little bit of super microcomputer issue there. And they're going to fix it up, hopefully, and get everything back on track. In probably 2 months, a month from now, no one will ever remember what happened there. But right now, Big Bear is selling off aggressively right now. And until Big Bear locks up some more deals and Big Bear can hopefully, with this Q1, Q2, these deals will start compounding on top of each other and start to show some more aggressive earnings for Big Bear. So I'm still not counting Big Bear out. My main thing that I want to see with Big Bear this year is that they get more government contracts. That's one of the main things here. And from that, like Palantir did, they can start to have more companies contact them, say, hey, we heard you're working with the government. We want to work with you. That's what happened with Palantir 2-3 years ago. Absolutely. So is that going to happen with Big Bear? I don't know. I can only hope and dream that it will. But yes, this is why every time I talk about Big Bear, I always want to bring a double-edged sword to this conversation, because Big Bear, yes, there is much potential, but it's still at this point as a wild card, and I don't want to make people mad or upset. People that want Big Bear to work. I want Big Bear to work, absolutely. But when we talk about a company that is doing better and is very attractive to people that are willing to take a risk in the market, that are willing to put money in a company that is doing better, still in a situation of like, they need to prove more. They need to, do more to gain trust with investors. Yeah, they need to pick up the pace. They need to get more. As of now, they've been essentially getting a deal a month every 30 days here or less with the government. So if they can keep that up, that would be fantastic. Even if it's just another measly like 13 million spread out over 3.5 years, it would still be something, and it would be great. But friends, it's gonna be a hard love life here, I think, with Big Bear here for the next little bit of time here, because we're gonna have to watch and see what's gonna happen month by month with the stock. 100%. And just to talk about SoFi, I don't want to talk about SoFi long because I yapped my mouth so much about SoFi last night. I know you guys are like, I do not want to hear you talk about SoFi anymore. I get it 100%. But what I do want to say with SoFi is that SoFi obviously is in this position where it's holding this ground right now, and I think the only way SoFi is going to go down more to, because people are saying that SoFi is going to go down to like an $8-9 position, and I was told this week, by some friends that there was people on YouTube saying that Palantir was going to go down to like $8-7. I don't think, I personally don't believe that. If someone's saying that, that's okay. I don't think you would see those prices with SoFi unless SoFi was caught up in a falling down a mountain with the market. The market would have to fall into some kind of complete devastation. Now, would April be that? I don't know. But SoFi would have to be in a really bad situation. Right now, SoFi is not a bad company. SoFi is not a bad stock. It's the complete opposite. Just because SoFi is sold off a little bit here, it doesn't mean it's a bad company. SoFi is just following with the rest of the market. It's been sold off here a little bit. It's an opportunity more than not. You have SoFi here that's in kind of the same boat as Palantir, where SoFi just, been getting deals, these big billion-dollar deals, these loan contracts, all this kind of stuff. And not to mention SoFi here, this next quarterly, we may have SoFi and Palantir in May both come out with billion-dollar quarterlies. Can you imagine owning two stocks for the first time they both produce in this situation right now where we find ourselves in the market? They both come out with billion-dollar quarterlies. Friends, you're going to be in a great place with your portfolio because people are going to be going freaking nuts over them. So right now, yeah, if you're buying SoFi at $12, $11, you're probably going to do very well here in 30 days because SoFi will probably more than likely be walking back up to this $15, $16, $17 range. Now, like I said, is SoFi going to this $8, $9, $10, $7 position that people are saying? I personally don't see that, like I said, unless the market finds itself in a recession. We find the economy, being murdered here. But I don't want to say that because we're not finding that right now. So yes, if there's something terrible happening in the economy, it will bleed into the stock market. The stock market will go down. The whole ship will go down. When the ship go down, all the stocks go down with it, and it's just what it is. In SoFi being a bank, banks will always take the biggest hit when the market falls here. I mean, if you've been through market crashes, it is always the MO. The banks will take the hit the hardest. So with that, SoFi, yeah. SoFi is a great company. It's a great stock. It's a great stock. There's a reason why everyone's buying SoFi right now, because they're killing it. Because in 5 years or more or less, who knows, SoFi could be producing dividends. SoFi could produce a stock split. SoFi is in such a golden, ripe opportunity where people should be paying attention to it highly. And I do believe that it will be a missed opportunity by investors more than not, if they do not move on it sooner than later. Okay, because you are watching a company right now where this year is going to be the biggest year they've had. We've been watching the deals, we've been watching the partnerships, we've been watching all this stuff coming with Palantir. There's no reason why they should stop doing banging quarterlies at this point. Okay, SoFi is getting very big. 9 times out of 10, if you're on YouTube or watching TV, you're going to see a SoFi commercial at this point. They are becoming very aggressive. They are becoming I truly believe within the next few years, they are going to start buying up other banks. They're going to start buying up things, okay? When they start producing these $1 billion quarterlies, then they've got money to where they can be highly aggressive towards other companies, where they can start calling these shots, where they can step in, okay? This is what's going to make SoFi a very aggressive company, 100%. Friends, I'm going to shut up now. I wish you all best of luck. It's Friday. I will talk more tomorrow. Take care of yourself, friends. Bye-bye.